Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I am your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Bradley Ellis.
Yo.
Michael Huber. My unverified co-moderator, Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And making it all happen by starting the Zoom call in Slack, Ian Hank.
Yo.
Distinguished guests, we are here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in video games this week, but before we do that, we must answer for our mistakes in the last week's podcast. Ian, please begin corrections music.
Boop.
Ian, you're a prognosticator, although I think you know this already via Slack. Microsoft already has the bundle you talk about. It goes from $19.99 to $24.99 per month, depending on the console version for 24 months. So if that's with Xbox, you can get, it comes with Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Plus Gold for 24 months, and the console.
What if that was somebody's ability that they could accurately predict things that already exist, but that they just don't know about?
Yeah.
Right.
It's called a genius. You can download some games after they've been delisted. We said it was just like a, no holds barred, nothing you can do about it. You can get some of that stuff, not stuff like PT, so there are exceptions. Earth Defense Force World Brothers was not announced last week at all. I said it was. Nah, we knew about that. That was a couple months ago. It was included in something I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was back in March. I think that got announced. Capcom were one of the first Japanese publishers who started bringing their games to Steam. Their first release on the platform was almost 15 years ago, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition on May 23rd, 2006. Terminator 2 Judgment Day did have a 4K Blu-ray release since it was December 2017. No Blu-ray release for True Lies or The Abyss yet, though.
True Lies is the one.
Cameron said True Lies is the one out of those two?
Yeah.
You would rather have True Lies over The Abyss?
For 4K, yeah. I love The Abyss, but True Lies is a showpiece.
We'll get to that later.
This is a visual masterpiece. What are you talking
Ian,
about?
Please, corrections.
Are you psychotic?
I like the movie a lot.
True Lies is great.
Cameron
Love
said,
True Lies.
yeah.
More scope.
Jones.
More scale.
Was it?
Avatar, the Abyss is like claustrophobic water, dude. It's not much variety.
But it has painterly moments.
Yeah, the outside
It's
with
fine,
the blue
it's
and
cool.
the darkness, and especially
It's
the end.
cool.
Cameron
Jones.
said
My
he was
TV
working on it
can't
back in
do
2018.
darkness really well.
When did it say it was coming out? Earth Defense Force World Brothers.
Okay.
Bloodworth.
So look, I don't know if did you vet this or did you just read the comment?
No, I looked it up on Google. It said March, like the end of March, I thought it was. It was something earlier this year.
Weird, because like the press release on July 8th said excited to announce new third-person shooter, and then the first trailer was also July 8th, also only like 1,900 views.
Maybe it was teased? I don't know. I saw some date.
Yeah, maybe there
Correcting
is there a
correction?
tease or was it announced in Japan?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I just saw a date that was at another time, and I was like, okay. And so again, I'm not gonna go to war for Earth Defense Force World Brothers.
Go to war.
I said what? I got what wrong? And the Mummy Demastered's been on Switch, PS4, etc. since 2017. It was another thing where I was like, woo, WayForward's bringing it to everything, and it was already on everything. I don't know why. I thought about that.
Yeah, because that was one of the limited run
I
things.
saw the image along with all the other ones,
limited
and I
run games.
just lumped it in. But if you haven't played it, go play it. It's not coming out on anything soon. It's on everything. Go get it. And
go.
corrections music.
Boop.
Nice. And a shout out to non-correction comments. I saw lots of people weighing in on how much money they'd be willing to spend on games, how much games cost in their corner of the world. We talk about the prospect of $70 games in last week's podcast. So always nice to read that stuff, get perspectives. Outside of my own, shout out to Canada, who's like, great, if it's $10 more, that's like $100 per game now. Or just, yeah, Canada's paying a lot.
Lucky
for them video
Canada,
games.
though, their dollar is only like 7 cents. So.
You look that up, Blood, while I do Gaming Gladiators? We had to
I don't
close
have
our
that in my
club in
email.
Los Angeles. I desperately want to entertain the masses, and so I'm going to be putting together a bloody grudge match of all your classic video game characters. We'll be fighting to the death, although, of course, death doesn't matter that much in video games. We are getting down to some of the final weeks. I refuse to say because these suggestions are too good, but we will run out of them because I am taking the best of the best now, and there are only one fight per character. From John McDaniel, Samus Aran versus Master Chief. Classic Monty video, and I've always wondered what would happen if they continued the fight till the end. Pretty invincible characters. Characters were not... We've seen them down and out, but never beat.
Yeah.
One-man armies, both.
Do they have their full arsenals?
I imagine that, yeah, if there's anything they have had in the past, I don't see why you would restrict. Considering they both have big arsenals,
Samus has gone up against the likes of Cloud, Mario,
What?
Ganondorf,
Smash.
fighting in Smash. She has proven herself time and time again.
Okay.
Master Chief's fighting the Flood.
All
Well,
right.
he's been in Dead or Alive, I believe, also.
Yeah, there you go.
But I
I
think
mean, Samus has
Master Chief-
power bombs,
yeah.
Yeah.
so I
And
don't know what
Master
Master
Chief
Chief's
might
armor is made
be-
out of.
He's got
Master
a sniper
Chief-
rifle.
Master Chief might be more adept at like fighting multiple enemies at once. I feel like one person could get him on the ropes, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
What if that one person was Samus Aran?
Yeah, I think Samus.
Are you
might
not
have
betting
the
on the
edge.
CN? What are you betting, Samus?
No, Samus. Yeah.
Samus explodes bombs to jump.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like indestructible. And if she's got the Varia suit, like, yeah.
Also,
pretty
shout out to
tough,
the
huh?
comments because I take submissions for a lot of stuff on the show through the comments, corrections, and whatnot. Sometimes I mention comments that people had made, and just every now and then people are just really upset about Gaming Gladiators. Like, what?
Does Master Chief have Cortana?
Sure, of course.
Wait, what does she do, though? Give him advice?
Like battle
Just
tactics.
talks.
Yeah.
Gets in Samus's head, man.
Yeah.
He has the shield he can throw down, I guess, too. The sword, too.
It's
You can
tough.
get
This is a
that.
tough one.
The
yeah.
rocket launcher.
The sword would kill her right away, yeah.
And
This
where
is
are
a
we
tough
fighting?
one.
Are we in a big open area
Always-
where he can
yeah.
use vehicles?
Yes. It's always a big arena. It's Gladiators.
She's got a ship, though,
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
Are there
spaceship.
pipes? Can she go through in the ball form and through the pipes?
Maybe.
And just like skittle
She
around?
goes into water, she can just run through it like it's nothing.
But he can't get the Needler. It's gonna follow her. I don't know, man. This is a tough one.
Wow,
This is a
hey, we
really
finally
tough
did it.
one.
I think it might be the first tough one we've done.
Yeah.
Usually
It's
they're
like a draw.
come on,
almost,
Jones. Hit me better with that.
A
Nice.
screw
Well,
attack,
here we go.
though.
Yeah. I think
Screw attack.
Samus has the edge, yeah.
Sure, we can just get it to Samus.
Ubisoft Forward was this past week, and boy, Ubisoft would certainly love it if I started talking about their video games first of all. But before that happened, if you want to go chronologically to learn about the crazy week that Ubisoft has had, I should probably just say their positions, but I'm going to wing it with their names. Sergei Haskoat, the Chief Creative Officer, Yanis Mallet, the head of Canadian Studios, and Cecil Cornett, the head of HR, all resigned in the wake of allegations of abuse. And then right before the Ubisoft Forward, their whatever E3 is this summer press event, they quoted, "Ubisoft Forward comes during a time of big internal change. Because of all the content has been pre-recorded, we wanted to recognize that the issues we're currently dealing with won't be addressed directly in the show. We still have significant work to do and are committed to this process. We will provide more updates soon." Ian Hank, could they have added something?
To the
Yeah,
to their little
they have everything was recorded. It's like, everything's recorded. Welcome to the internet. What? Like,
yeah. I mean, they could have put that like video or that image at the beginning.
Sure.
or so- I
that
mean,
could
like,
have been the screen before it went live. You know, it was
yeah,
just sitting
yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's the thing is like they wouldn't have even had to put it into their same presentation. They could have just put something on the. Well, the thing is they were doing their pre-show and post-show, and I imagine probably that
sure.
was all one big file. So it's like a 3-hour, 2.5 hour.
Not to
thing.
mention approvals that we have to do. Like we've
Yeah.
exported stuff minutes before posting it, but it's like,
Yeah. But,
maybe
like-
someone like Don doesn't need to watch it. Like we can get it up, Whereas there are many, many, many cooks in that kitchen. So I think it's
Yeah.
also kind of speaking to that language of it's not just render time. It's not just.
But it is
graphical
it is
processing,
weird
like-
though because like they did whoever approved the language of their tweet or press release or whatever approved that language. They could have used whatever they were using to stream the video to just put that text at the front of it or something. But at the same time, it's like, is tweeting it effectively the same thing? Like I don't know.
Huber, what do you think?
Just, it's crazy to me because we live in a streaming era. So you can go live to millions of people with the push of a button. And I'm sick of these corporations just like hiding behind tweets and pre-written documents, Like be a human being. Don't be
You're a streamer though, Huber. You got the luxury of just having that one-to-one relationship with the community. It's
But, like,
you're the head of Ubisoft. It's terrifying. It's a scary place
I
to
know
be.
it. I know it's super terrifying, but like the smart move and the right move is to come out as a human being live, straight up live before that, and address it head on and be like, hey, apologize, address it, take it head on. Like,
But I mean, Huber, that flies in the face of like a century of corporate legal maneuvering. Like the legal department of Ubisoft is not going to let Eves or whoever go up on live online and say whatever the hell he wants off the cuff.
Yeah, that's very risky.
God,
like,
it's
we
gotta
don't have-
change. Let's make it change.
No, but it like I don't know. Like Elise and I were told to stop making fun of Defy Media, like on a mandatory update. You know, like they're gonna.
I love it when John Oliver goes after what is it, AT&T or Apple?
Yeah,
or
he goes after AT&T constantly.
Respect.
But yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
and that actually could be part of it, potentially, is because it's being broadcast internationally and, like, various laws differ and stuff that, like, you know, what they say could be very sensitive and deal with privacy issues or whatever, but, yeah,
Also,
I don't know.
Also, I was just going to add, like, same with this Dr. Disrespect stuff where nobody's saying anything and blah, 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 and everyone's like this and that. It's like, because it could involve ongoing litigation, like legal stuff. So, like, you have to be very measured about what you say because otherwise you could, like, Eves goes live, says something off the cuff that's wrong, that then, like, gets these three guys completely off the hook or something because it's some legal technicality. You know, you just can't risk it.
Fair point.
They'll probably say something on their next event anyways, so... Because they're going to do another one.
Or they'll sweep it under the rug because it'll be ancient history.
I don't know about either
Depends
one
how
of those
far
things,
away
but
it is.
Yeah.
These are going to
I don't
change.
expect
These
it to come up.
These are three big people. Yeah,
You never
so
know. Yeah.
Maybe just that absence.
I do appreciate them, like, trying to change it, at least by these people, you know, resigning and Eves addressing it. And I saw that he emailed the whole company, and I appreciate that stance for sure.
So that
Yeah.
was
We're
that
at
was not.
the-
Oh, sorry. Go Blood, go.
Go Blood.
No, yeah, we're just kind of at the tip of the iceberg of this stuff, and you know, it'll remain to be seen, like, how much of it actually, you know, does get presented to the public. You know, these figures that step down, like, they're, you know, like, I saw people talk about the chief creative officer as, you know, like, this is a guy that's basically untouchable. Like, it was pretty much unthinkable for people that work there to think that, like, if anything happened, that it would affect this guy. So that is a pretty strong sign there that I think a lot of people don't really get the full extent of, because I've never heard of him before, you know. So
The guy who left, they were saying is untouchable.
right,
one of
yeah,
the
like he's like
guys?
one of the
Yeah.
guys who, like, if he likes a game or not, that determines, like, whether giant AAA games get made and all. You know,
Wow.
it's like he was the one that gives the thumbs up or thumb down. So a lot of power there, and then as well with the HR director, and they're talking about, you know, rechanging, like, all of the HR policies, as well as they're looking to hire somebody new to head their HR team, and it sounds like that person is not going to be coming from somebody that already works there. They're going to be looking for somebody fresh from the outside to kind of right the ship and, you know, not feed into the same culture. So it sounds like good progress to me, but, you know, like I said, I think there's a lot more smaller positions and things like that are going to be getting reviewed, and probably hearing about more people exiting one way or another, or you know, some people will probably exit and you won't know anything about it for 6 months. So,
Which is why I only want to say anything definitive as it pertains to this press conference that they, unfortunately for them, had to do immediately following a lot of this news going public and being a big conversation point for people. But they could have maybe squeezed it into their conference pre-show, but instead they talked about Just Dance 2020, Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, The Crew 2, The Division 2, Trials Rising, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I have a feeling, Just Dance obviously, because that's like the musical number that either opens or, you know, is the midpoint of any of their press conferences. Does any of those others feel like something at this point that if they had done a live show on a live stage would have made it in? Like, would The Division 2 have made it in? Like, would that have been something they would have talked
Division
about not
2,
in the
yes.
pre-show later?
So yeah, I think so.
yeah.
So it's interesting. Some of those games on that list
We
are
saw
surprising
Rainbow
to
Six
me.
in the main.
That's true.
Yes. We also saw Brawlhalla because it's coming to iOS and Android, which maybe feels like something that maybe could have been in that pre-show.
mobile game section
Right?
was very strange.
How about those mobile games, Ian? Magic,
Yeah.
Era of Chaos, and Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. Again, maybe a pre-show, but then it only leaves like a handful of games to talk about in the big event. But
also they at least to my knowledge announced what is it called, Curious Expedition 2 or something. Like they had some other indie titles in that pre-show as well that like could have very easily felt at home instead of that mobile game section.
Right.
It was very odd.
Just
it felt like
taunting
paying the
us
bills.
taunting us with Sam Fisher, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audience for Brawlhalla entirely escapes me. Like, I only hear about that game at E3 with the Ubisoft conference. But
Yeah.
apparently it does well.
hey, man, hey! If you're in a Brawlhalla, we're not calling anybody out here.
Yeah, relax.
We're just calling out the use of the silly game in the press conference. You know what I'm saying? What did seem like it could make it in, and probably should have been there, obviously, Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion, which Hubert and I played, isn't that right?
That's right. You can check out those previews on easyls.com.
Woo! So I don't want to go actually into detail about that stuff because we talk about it at length. We spend 45 minutes, in total talking about those things, and we did reactions to the press conference itself. But I was curious, about some of those games that we saw before the press conference in ways that they changed it, because I am fascinated by that stuff about how these press conferences will change as opposed to what they normally are. Hyperscape was focused on as well. No release date, sometime this summer, but it's an open beta now. I'm seeing people react to Hyperscape like, this is fun. There's a lot of things. It's another battle royale. It's fine. Like, were we past the point where maybe a company like Ubisoft would invest big money in a battle royale, or is it not? It's not a bad idea. Even if people aren't going to get like super excited about it.
I think the reaction might seem a little muted. One, because it's still open beta, it's not fully out, and two, because the wow factor of a battle royale has kind of simmered. A few months back, 6 months, late last year, any battle royale got announced. Whether it's Apex Legends or like Firestorm in Battlefield 5, the simple fact that one existed was a headline. It was like, oh, here's a new one. Here's a new battle royale, because it was like this emerging genre. So I think now the game has to kind of speak for itself and live on and have that word of
Apex
mouth
felt a little behind the times. Am I misremembering that? Apex felt a little late to the game in terms of like how much it blew up. I was actually surprised. Now again, not because of the quality of the game. A lot of people are saying, so like, there's nothing wrong with Hyperscape. It's a lot of fun. It's just like, I don't know how much it'll pick up. And I did a preview on that, but if you watch that preview, you won't hear me say anything because I had to keep tight-lipped about a lot of the Twitch integration that they talked about in Forward, where they're going to have stuff you can vote on and just like a lot of interactivity between the Twitch audience. Which,
you can, people bring in their Twitch viewers, and then there's voting in the matches, and you can vote for like unlimited ammo at some points, or like anti-gravity. I did read a preview where, I think PC Gamer played it. They did a preview where it's like everyone always just voted for anti-gravity because it's the most funny one to look at if you're Twitch. So I think all that stuff needs a little more work, but that idea itself seems really, really cool.
Yeah, I think Jones, we were to talk about some of that, but I think it was like specifically like the inviting people into your game and that kind of thing like that.
And just, they had B-roll that was included where like
system.
the whole, the Twitch integration of it looked completely different. Is that a smart play? Is that a fart? Do you think, that's not a fart. Do you think that was the thing that tipped it over in development when they were pitching it? That they're like, oh, okay, this game looks great, but we're also planning a lot of this Twitch stuff. And it's like, okay, that I haven't heard before.
Well, I think
or
they were
Ubisoft's
just,
like,
Ubisoft was probably
money.
like, we need a battle royale. And they're like, okay, we have this concept for it. And they're like, okay, that seems fine. Good.
All right.
I'm curious how much they get from Twitch with some of this stuff, or like how that. Because it's made for Twitch, etc.
Right.
All this integration, they had to partner with them to make it happen.
I did not even think of that.
Well, and like Vermintide 2 has that Twitch integration that actually has improved a lot over time. It's really fun. I love it. So, and that's Twitch branded in game. Even if you're not doing it, you see the little Twitch logo in the menu there. So they definitely had a deal. It's interesting.
Yeah, I love the idea. I think it has a ton of potential. Just got to see how it all.
I think it
shakes
has
out and
good
works.
potential and like fun casual streams, but I can't see this really in anything competitive. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be, I guess. Like if they're gonna be super competitive about it, like there with Rainbow Six, I don't see that coming into it at all. But it could be really fun if you're like just some streamer playing it and having your chat join in.
What I'd be interested to see is, I mean, it would shake everything up. Is like if this does gain a foothold and stuff, if the big boys toy with putting that in there too, like would Fortnite season 6 or whatever we're on now, like would they put some kind of Twitch integration in? Because I mean, they seem pretty willing to think outside the box. So I don't know. It really
they
shake
could do
stuff
it. I could
up.
see them doing it for like a limited amount of time.
For just like one season or something. Yeah. Be cool. I don't know.
As inevitable as another battle royale game, Far Cry 6 ended the show and was super deflated by the classic Ubisoft leak. It's just got to be, you just got to let those leaks simmer for Ubisoft there. Just get that news ahead of time and just buckle up.
And you realize that the only reason everything else didn't leak was because it wasn't new? Like, because otherwise that all would have,
they had all of this and they were like,
too.
well,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
all the gameplay details?
Yeah, because Hyperscape leaked as well, right? Before that
did
went
it?
out. Yeah.
Like minutes before, but then I played Hyperscape before this event, but it's just like we still.
No. I mean, before your previews and stuff were allowed to go
I just
up,
don't think it was devastating because you hear about Far Cry 6 and you see an image and you cast members and you're like, oh, okay, it's starting to come together. You hear about Hyperscape and it doesn't really like paint the picture. You kind of do need, you're gonna seek out those impressions. I was certainly seeking out information because I learned very little from that trailer. The stuff that was featured in the press conference, I was like, okay, like usually, obviously they have a big boss reveal, but like, remember back to Far Cry 4, we got the boss reveal, we got in-game engine on a bus, he gets off the bus, we see the character in a camera, we see the world, and it was like, I don't know if there's any kind of normalcy to the Far Cry development schedule, if they just show up when it's ready, or if they're like, no, we have to turn this around every couple years at the same amount of time. I don't know if it's like Call of Duty where like it always launches on the same month.
Yeah, 5
this
was
felt
what,
a little
2018 or 2017?
and
This
then
felt
they
a
always
little
put
dry.
out a second game that uses the same map so it can
Right.
go
Yeah,
there's-
faster.
Primal, and then
Yeah.
the one with the two sisters
Yeah,
as
Yeah,
well.
New
Blood
Blood
Dragon.
or
I'm way done.
Oh, Blood Dragon,
whatever.
yeah,
that
it's
stuff,
cool.
yeah. But and then I read press, releases afterward that they're like, okay, so here's where it takes place. Here's his name. Here's his relation to his son. And it's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
is it? I think that stuff should be in the press conference. Am I wrong? We should
not
know
wrong.
most of that. Like,
If you dive deeper into it, because how do you do that then? I think to get that information across, then you have to like go to people talking, which
Right.
time and time again, people just do not listen. They just want to see the trailers or the games. And I think it would have, like you said, it would have landed a little harder if it hadn't been leaked because, Giancarlo Esposito is like a big name. He's in so many things, obviously. Gus Fring.
and he kills it in the trailer. I feel bad because
Yeah,
he's like super
yeah.
emotional. It's just like, dude, I have no idea what's happening. Like, am I playing as the kid? I'm assuming I'm trying to overthrow you, but like, where are we? And just being like, turmoil. It's like, that's Far Cry. I don't.
I wonder if they want the
surprised.
community to kind of like pick everything off, if they're intentionally being mysterious, because the rumors have me the most excited. Everyone's saying it's a prequel to Far Cry 3 and that the little boy is Voss.
Right.
Because the
No, that's
scar
not
matches
true.
up.
They're just rumors.
People
It's
thought
not
saying
that.
that.
People are thinking that.
But
way.
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
the
Like the
cut
press
on his
release
eyebrow.
Yeah.
talked about him.
Yeah, they said his name.
He
and
could
it's
have a
not- they
different
said the
name,
date.
Bloodworth. He can change his
Bloodworth.
name.
Settle down, Blood.
He could change his name. It's like very plausible that he tries to escape this crazy dictator and gets a new identity.
I think there were screenshots though I saw of the game, and I think you're not
Yeah.
the kid.
Hubert.
You're not the kid, but
Right.
Yeah.
he's still
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big
I think,
part
but he was
of
like
the
wearing
game.
headphones too that looked pretty modern, I would say, and I didn't think it because it'd have to be like what in the 80s or something if you were him.
Do you know what's also possible, Huber? That people are wrong.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's-
no. That I was just saying. I like
Yeah.
theories. I
Oh, it's
like
fun, yeah.
fans trying
Holy
to
crap!
piece that
No,
stuff together.
this is hilarious. It actually does talk about like who you play as and everything in the press release.
Yeah, it's just more. They're like, screenshots. And I was like, you couldn't have shown.
It's got the name
Well,
of
it's
the city.
what to me that says is like they want people to talk about it, but the gameplay doesn't look good enough to show yet, so they're not going to do because they could have done
Right.
the information in that press release
Yeah.
with a Rockstar style like VO saying, like in Far Cry 6 you will take on the role of some dumb guy.
I feel like it's going to show
Either
up
male
at
or
the,
female Danny Rojas.
I feel like it's going to show up at the Xbox showcase running on
Maybe.
Series X. So this was kind of the prologue, and then you show
That's
the
like
big
that.
gameplay
Aw.
model.
I like
their
it.
next thing.
I like
whatever
it.
they're doing.
And it's
That's
a completely a
thought.
moot point because it's like me criticizing the advertising for Madden or COD. It's going to sell. Anyway,
Yeah,
Far Cry is just going to go gangbusters. Devolver Direct 2020 also happened on another day. That was our weekend that we had, these two big events. Kind of like PC gaming shows, something that I think could really show up. Hold on. I haven't finished my sentence, man.
Woodworth. Out
What are
of
the
control.
spicy tonight? Look.
Unhinged tonight.
He saw that comment and it like broke his brain or something.
In that there's a format that they follow that they could probably stick to even in this digital era. Unlike developers like Nintendo and Sony and Xbox that might have to, reinvent the wheel a little bit in how they do events. Woo. Honestly, there's a lot of exciting stuff from this demo. I want to talk about this Devolver Land Expo thing because that was different. That was crazy. I saw like some PR companies being like, "Woohoo, we got a booth in there," and you could just run around and shoot at their signs. And like, what a weird, weird, strange thing that couldn't have been that cheap. And definitely took time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
some money.
well made.
I think about them beginning 2020 and like starting this and be like, this is gonna be hilarious, and then like the world becomes the world that it is now in the middle of 2020. And I wonder if there was a meeting where they were like, do we make fun of not E3? Do we still make that joke? And it was interesting to me to see it land the way it did and see people still embrace it and to kind of appreciate, you know what? I want to run around, the convention center and, destroy things, please. That would kind of be cathartic right now. I think it worked.
It is like my favorite usage of marketing budget, Jones. Because to get through
win-win.
to get through it, you have to watch the trailers. So it's just like marketing budget used in a really awesome creative way.
Well, it even says that too, right? Like marketing points achieved or something like
Yeah,
that.
marketing.
Yeah.
It was
Super
designed by
fun.
Flying Wild Hog, the people who did the Shadow Warrior games.
Oh, cool.
That's why their booth too has a couple, like one of the big Shadow Warrior enemies. It's like hanging out there. They probably just like took the asset.
Oh yeah.
We'll make your game. We get top billing in Devolver Direct.
Super cool.
They didn't talk about a ton because, that would get in the way of the story that they were trying to tell. But they did 5 games: Shadow Warrior 3, Fall Guys, Carrion, Oliha? Probably Oliha. Probably Oliha.
I think it's Aliha.
I think it was Aliha.
And Serious Sam 4, Planet Badass. Huber, you look like somebody that's excited for Shadow Warrior 3.
Very excited for Shadow Warrior 3. Cautiously optimistic about Serious Sam 4 because I was expecting a little more from it. Serious Sam is known to have so many enemies on screen. I just keep wondering if they're holding that back. Even before this, they were really hyping up how many enemies were gonna be on screen and just like waves and waves of skeletal warriors charging you. But the trailer was a little tame, but I'm still really excited about that.
I saw that game, I think, last year.
Yeah,
I saw them play it.
Tell me, Brad.
And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of monsters in it still that you're gonna fight at one time. Like what I saw, they were in like a huge open area, Mike, like huge, just
cool.
tons of guys from what I remember. So I think you'll be happy.
The environments shown in that gameplay didn't look overly like the game looked almost kind of old.
Yeah,
like it didn't look overly graphically intense. It looked basically like Talos Principle, but you're shooting stuff. The area looked literally like Talos Principle in some places.
I think that's their tagline.
But
I think that's their.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going.
But I mean,
with.
that
That's
would
the box art.
explain
Talos Principle with guns.
Yeah.
There'd be way more enemies that they could fit on there if
Yeah.
the game doesn't like have a huge graphical fidelity. I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that's been true of the whole series, though, right? They've always, they've looked like a generation or two behind, just so that they can just throw all kinds of stuff at the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're harnessing the graphical power of Stadia, Huber. You don't think they're gonna crank it?
Compromised. Did the press release for Shadow Warrior 3 give any details about co-op or anything? Because the first reboot was not, but the Shadow Warrior 2 was up to 4-player co-op.
It's 2021, so I don't know how many specific details they
Yeah,
have.
this looked like it was going back to either solo or even just a maximum of 2 players.
Did the other ones have like so much platforming in it? It looked like because this one looks like he was jumping all over the place and like that whip
Not
thing.
nearly as much. Yeah, this one has more.
I like the boss evasiveness. That was my favorite thing about it. That's just these bosses looked like they were tough to pin down. They were flipping all over the place. Lots of fun animation. Lots of great character to that.
Yeah.
Not much to say about Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout other than this is just like the
Looks
greatest
great.
group stream. Just group stream present. Every now and then you just get a group stream present wrapped with a big bow on it. You're like, there we go, lock it in.
Also,
so-
just speaking of like that to me is the kind of iteration on the battle royale idea that I want to see, where it's like not combat, but it's like just this crazy ass
Just a
obstacle
goofy
course
idea,
battle
yeah.
royale.
Yeah.
It's so
Right.
funny.
Ian, you had my favorite comment about it. You're like, can you be good at this game?
Yeah.
Just bumping into each other like,
Yeah.
oh god, hope
I
for
wonder
the
if it's
best.
procedurally generated. You know, it's like I wonder because that's maybe one way you could. You know what Double Dare-esque thing is coming at you.
Yeah, I
But
feel like
if
it
you
would have
don't-
to switch it up, or it would kind of defeat the purpose, right?
We're only gonna
If
play
you
it for
just
2
get
hours.
good.
I don't know if we'll go.
Well, who
I
knows?
mean, there's
What's the
so many
leveling like?
players,
Is there a battle
yeah.
pass? That's what I want to know. We don't have all that information.
They did say there's seasonal costumes you can earn. I
But,
remember. I'm pretty sure I remember.
A lot of stuff's coming out really soon. That we get that in the beginning of August. Carrion is just a week away, and along with the Liha, like love that style. Love just big chunky pixels. You know.
Yeah.
I think Aliha's really great because it's fun to look at an image of that game, and they convey a lot with not many colors. You can kind of get a sense of just a lot of different character types and.
Confusing messaging at the end of the Oliha, because we all thought the game was shadow dropped, but then it turned out to only be like a PC demo or some weird thing.
Yeah.
We were all like looking at our Switches.
And then
Yeah,
I went to
is
go
that
download
not-
the demo, but it just kept taking me to the store page on it.
Oh,
So
Weird.
I wonder if that's still the
No,
case.
Probably not. They probably fixed it.
If you don't count Devolver Land Expo, there's only 5 games in this, which I think is the lowest of anything we all showed up for. I think, like, unless we knew it was going to be like, oh, get like a direct or something focused
how
on
many
one
did
game.
Ubisoft have?
Yeah, Ubisoft didn't have that many.
I feel like Ubisoft
wonder.
might have had fewer.
Well, but if you count Just
The
Dance, Mythic
pre-show.
Quest, Crew 2, Division 2,
I
like all those are up.
don't.
Oh, come on. Like, Rainbow Six Siege, like, all these are games that they're supporting that have stuff that is coming out. There's a reason for them to be there. Like, they didn't announce anything new with Carrion, so it wasn't like, hey, announcing a new season coming to Carrion. It's just, the closest game that we could get. Can you pull off 4 games? 3? In a director, there's 5, like the...
I
Yeah,
feel
less
like
than 5,
the
is that the
first
danger zone?
Devolver Direct had next to nothing in terms of actual games.
It had like 2 or 3. Remember that? Remember that Bethesda that had like the 20-minute deep dive into
Fallout.
Fallout?
Yeah,
Was it
Fallout
Fallout
4.
76 or Fallout 4? Yeah.
Fallout 4.
And that I think it had a few other games at the end, but like that'd be how you'd have to do it, right? Just like
Yeah, it
3 deep
depends
dives.
on the size of the game or the
Yeah.
hype level of it, I guess.
Nintendo can pull it off with
Yeah, because
one
if they do
game.
like, hey,
No,
Mario,
but
Zelda,
you know
boom,
that
boom.
going...
You know that going in, yeah.
We did kind of know what we were getting in for watching a Devolver Direct. Is this like a Christmas tradition? Is this the kind of early summer thing that we just need now? That we just like, curl up with some hot chocolate and just watch blood get sprayed on people? Is it just like, how is that part of it? Is like worth commenting on? Do we like
I
what they're doing?
I liked
as
it
silly as
from
it
the
sounds. I
beginning.
liked last year's a little bit more than this year's. But
I've liked them from the beginning just because they're doing it. Like I really just appreciate somebody's out there doing it. Even if it like it happens to be my thing, but even if it isn't your thing, I just appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
they
that
are
it's
getting
different.
better too, I think.
And they put, dude, that's like, they put a lot of budget behind this thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even if you're not like super into it, like it's hit or miss with me sometimes, but I appreciate how much effort they put into
But
these
they
things.
dude, Brett, they got together in a pandemic. They were like,
I know.
"We're doing this."
Yes, they're
And,
passionate
we
about it, dude.
We can still make jokes at home. I can mail everyone a green screen. And we're like, no, smoke machines.
Yeah, that's
Even
Devolver.
characters that were in like their home Zoom things showed up at the Batman.
It's like if Troma started
Tokyo-
a game studio.
Yeah, Tokyo Slim pointed out to me on Twitter that anybody can rent that the Dark Knight Returns the Dark Knight Batcave, like the light up thing from
right.
from the Half Alive music video. $385 an hour, 10-hour guarantee, and that's for just a photography thing. So for video, it might be higher.
That's
So we know
cool,
at least
Ian.
that part of the budget. For
I'm gonna have
this.
to cut that from the show, unfortunately, because now people are just gonna want us to rent it for something.
Yeah. Well, pay up.
That's not gonna help anybody.
Horror franchises have a habit of going on way too long, so I hope the Devolver gets to that point. Where it's just like, this is the 8th time,
Friday the
9th
13th
time,
caliber?
it's just still going.
Same story.
Hubert, what's the is it Friday the 13th? What's the like? What franchise just has the most?
It's gotta be that or like Soft.
It's
I mean,
just the
Friday the
most
13th
prolific.
has 10.
There's
plus
more Jasons than
Freddy
Freddy's.
vs. Jason,
There's way more
which would be
Jasons than
11.
Freddy's. I know that.
There's 12 Friday the 13ths.
How many
12?
Halloweens are there? 8?
12, yeah.
Wow.
There are like
Damn,
8
dude.
Halloweens.
That'll be a fun correction next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shitload of Halloweens too.
I just want to talk about Xbox right now. Not anything specific, but Xbox in all sorts of different crazy directions. Although, I definitely think we are in the console launch cycle officially, even though it sounds like there's still more that we need to learn. Because I think since I took over this podcast, I've talked about either Xbox or PS5 or both every single week. So, we are talking about it this week because Xbox One consoles reportedly are discontinued ahead of the Xbox Series X, which seems like yes but no. Like, this is still floaty. This is still cloudy.
Yeah,
like
it sounds-
Xbox is saying no, but everyone else is saying yes, maybe, or like maybe it's just the S. Like,
Right. Yeah, well, it sounds like the S is still being in production, but the X and the S all digital are fading out.
Really, the X too? Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think about it. Like, why would you
Yeah.
need the in between? It's like you either want the cheap one or you want the expensive one. You don't need the halfway point. So
That makes
I
sense.
guess.
it's a prestige thing.
The prestige thing is buying a Series X.
right.
If you're Xbox, do you do this but not tell people and wait till somebody figures it out? Is that the play?
It just seems like a normal retail channel thing. I mean, like these things, like probably wouldn't realistically like start making a dent for a few months when they're just about to start putting the displays and everything up for Series X anyway. So yeah, I don't know that it really matters too much.
Got time.
Plus, I think in the past you've seen like, like they'll keep making the PS4 Slim or whatever for a while,
Right.
but they like stop making the other ones and like they obviously ramp it down and then eventually they just stop. Yeah.
Well,
it's
I
just
think-
the course.
Yeah, the mid-gen thing is what's made this weird.
Yeah,
The past, there haven't been multiple versions of a console on
Right.
sale when a new console's coming out. So it's like they've already like retired the old, fat PS3s and like what PS3 had like 2 different slims, right? They had that one with the weird
Yeah.
slidey cover afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel
they
like they're
had just
retiring.
V2 and then Slim.
I feel like they're retiring some because it's just so damn confusing. Like I don't want to sound like I'm
I don't
giving
think
them-
that's a far-fetched idea at all.
Yeah, like I don't want to sound like I'm giving them a hard time, but like I seriously still get confused. Series X, One, X, S, like
A lot of X's
it's,
in their names.
it's confusing. It's so confusing. So I think this is actually a smart play by limiting how many of the old ones there are when the new one drops.
Also,
You've
like
just-
the previous generations have not had at least the promise of backwards compatibility that this upcoming
Yeah, that
generation
you'll be
will
fine for a while.
supposedly have. So like that'll be fewer people who need to buy the older consoles or like want to replace their older consoles if they break or something because you could just do all your stuff.
Well, PS2
theoretically.
and PS3 had full backwards compatibility at launch.
Yeah.
The handhelds
I guess it
always
went
did.
away for a
Yeah.
while and now it's coming back.
Yeah.
So you phase out the PS4?
Well, the weird thing with the Xbox, which is another headline, I don't know if you had on your list, is them talking about first-party games for like a couple of years are
like
still
2
going to be
years.
playable on Xbox One. So
That's the new thing that we haven't had
that's
before.
the crazy new thing is that
Yeah.
you don't need to buy a system to play the new games.
Phil Spencer says, it is our intent for all Xbox One games that do not require Kinect to play on Xbox Series X at the launch of the console, says Phil Spencer. Also, Xbox Game Studios titles we release in the next couple of years, like Halo Infinite, will be available and play great on Xbox Series X and Xbox One. Great.
Great.
I mean, it speaks again to the thing we talked about last week, where it's just they're really thinking of it less as generational and just iterational. Like it's not a new generation of console. It's just a it's just a computer with a 2080 Ti in it. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
for
it's
them,
just,
that's how they're tackling it. Yeah.
They just upgraded the PC. But it's weird because, for me at least, and maybe you guys disagree or agree, like, previous generations, when I heard a game was going to be on the old generation too, I always got a little bit bummed because I was always worried that it was like being held back, you know?
Compromised.
Yeah,
Compromise.
Yeah, that's where compromise like came from, dude.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
But it's like now that feels like
cross-gen?
Yeah, cross-gen was bad, but now it feels like less of a case because it really does just feel like, yeah, the new consoles just have a better RTX card in them.
It definitely depends on seeing some of the games though when they're actually out.
For sure.
Like if I see like Horizon 2 or whatever, and it just looks bonkers, and there's no way it could possibly be on PS4 unless it looked like dog shit or something and ran terrible. So, but for like Halo, they've been planning this for a long time to be like this. So we'll see as it goes further on.
Brad, do you think day one 343 knew this was that way Infinite had to work?
Oh, dude, that game has been in development for a long time, and I think they came to this decision a while ago.
Okay.
Like they were
Also,
probably
like
the first to know.
I would almost respect Sony or whoever or a video game company if they put out a cross-gen version and like the old one just sucks. Like the PS4 version of Horizon is just unequivocal garbage.
It just doesn't work.
Because it's just, and they're like, hey, they made us put it on there, but it's bad.
Just a
Plays
middle
great.
finger, yeah.
Plays great.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's only enough of the game to have it play great. So you just play. So you can't even get to the end credits. You know, it's just like the first like 20% of the game.
Do you think this will ever be like the Nintendo 64 expansion pack? Do you think Halo Infinite will have locked out content on the older machines?
That's a funny thing.
Because
Maybe just specs,
Yeah, sure.
like 60 frames or whatever in resolution.
Maybe some settings.
Oh,
that
yeah,
you can
definitely
scale
that.
up and-
But I don't know about game content, at least yet.
Yeah, nothing
that
like
would be
Perfect Dark.
real interesting though, Huber. Whoa.
Yeah, I think the part about that really, probably maybe the most concerning part about that to me is them talking about controllers. You know,
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, you know, your old controller and everything, you can just use that. You don't have to worry about. And like with the adaptive controller, like I get it because that thing is a huge investment. But with your standard controller, you know, and I think this just comes from me, you know, being such a long time Nintendo guy. It's like, it just feels like so you're done with that. You're done making new ideas with controllers, right? It's like, you know, Keely's about to go hands-on with the DualSense and try to. I don't know how he's going to do that. I'd be curious to see how that plays out in the morning. But yeah, it's just like all of these new features that they're packing into this controller and what it can mean for how you interact with your games differently. And Xbox is like, it's a perk. You don't need it. You know,
Well,
you want
yeah,
to use your controller, that's fine.
That's the thing I was thinking too, Blood, is like, because yeah, the haptic feedback on the PS5 controller, it's like that is a feature that just won't exist on the PS4 version, you know. So yeah, I wonder. But does the Xbox controller, does the new controller have any special features for Xbox?
Yeah.
I believe.
Do
that
I
they
know what those
do.
are right now? No.
I don't know what they are at the top of my head.
Because
I think it has like a-
I'm
I
not
I feel
even
like they
sure
haven't talked about it a lot.
it does. Yeah, they haven't
yeah.
really talked about it.
When they let someone kind of crack open the Series X, they did talk about controllers and the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they've talked about it, but
Well,
they're
they-
not
they
like
announced-
reiterating it over and over, like smart
Yes,
delivery
right.
and
You're right,
120 frames per second and all this stuff.
And
true.
they announced the Elite 2 or whatever it's called that has the back buttons and stuff. But I feel like it's just another Elite iteration. I don't know.
I'm hoping
It doesn't
Keely
have,
does
like,
some kind of like an
crazy new-
ASMR thing tomorrow, where like it just the screen goes to black and he just says, "Okay, I'm holding it right now,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
He's
press
got
the
it,
right
like,
trigger. Oh, the right trigger's down. Okay, now I'm gonna press the left, and you connect. You know what I mean? You get it. You
What if
mind
they-
meld with
they-
Keely, and all you're like, "Oh, damn, I'm holding it."
They turn the mic up really, really loud, and then he just like presses the R2 down with the haptics, and
You
you
hear a little
just hear
squeak,
it.
like,
You just
"Oh."
hear it go like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh.
I love when Rumble first came out. I would just listen to Rumble. You know, you just be like, what's going
Dude,
on in there, man?
it's so loud.
Mixtapes of Rumble.
Well, it's funny
yeah.
with my rings because like if I'm not holding it the right way, this is like.
Same.
Live leaving on a table and you forgot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
some game where like you can still get attacked if you have it paused.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Oh, or it's even worse is you put it on a table or something, and I used to have wood floors too, and something would happen and your controller would just get knocked on the floor and like, oh crap.
That's literally like the spider, like the, what was it, the Nintendo Labo spider. That's how it just shakes a lot. That's how it moves. And Game Pass Ultimate gets you access to Project xCloud later this year.
Big.
Yeah.
Big. Biggest
I'm
goal.
glad you
Yeah.
said that, Bloodworth, because I thought so. But maybe before sometime, like late April, I wasn't paying that much attention to gaming news. So, didn't have a reason to. But this seems huge because they've talked about xCloud's just been like a concept. It's just been like a
it's not
a fantasy world for a long time.
It's been
something we knew
beta
was
testing.
coming, but it's happening. We know when later this year. We don't know specifically, but Halo Infinite, Xbox Series X, Project xCloud, it's all happening. How big was that, Bloodworth? That's all I got. I mean, it just literally that headline kind of spoke about it to me. Were there any fun details to dig into?
Well, yeah. I mean, the main thing is that essentially, you will be like this is what I was thinking would be the big difference maker between what Microsoft is doing and what Stadia is doing. Is like, no, you actually, here it is. You've got a service that allows you to get into all this stuff, right? So if you have xCloud and Game Pass combined, you don't even need an Xbox to play these games, right? Like, you just play them on your phone or whatever. And so that's a huge deal that you're paying. I wrote down like $15 a month for Ultimate, and there you go. Like you've got all these first-party Xbox games. You've got all the big games that you could want. The main thing that's a little weird to me is it's so far as I know, Xbox is still focused on like mobile and tablets, and you can use a controller with them. But they haven't really gotten into tapping into smart TVs like Stadia does, or like playing it on a PC browser, or anything like that, or even playing a cloud game from your Xbox. Why not? So I think those are steps that they need to take forward. But it's a huge value add for Game Pass Ultimate, which is really like, that's what they're pushing right now, and it's interesting. To see how that's going, trying to get as many people onto that service as possible rather than buying games individually.
It's so weird. Never in my life when a new console coming has there been a company telling me I don't need to buy their new console more than now. Than ever. Like, I'm gonna buy it because I want it, but if I wasn't in this industry or it was a part of my job, they're like telling me like, you don't need it. It's cool. Like, whoa.
Especially if you have a PC.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to buy it because I've got a PC. Like, I can play all their games.
Yeah.
Brad, it seemed like you were going to say, I'm going to buy it because and then you reverted and you said something else. What is there? Is that?
Oh, because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
I don't need to buy it. I don't need to, but I want to.
You work for this company, you need to buy it. Maybe not maybe not in 2020.
What's interesting to me, and I might have brought this up before when we talked about Game Pass, is the strategy of it is it's a little bit insidious to me in a way, because bundling it with Xbox Live makes it a lot harder to kind of get out of. And so like for me right now, like I've got my Xbox Live subscription, which is $60 a year, and then I've just got a separate like regular Xbox Game Pass, for $10 a month, because at any time that I'm not gonna have a month or two, whatever, that I don't anticipate playing something on Game Pass, and just like, I'll cancel that subscription for right now. It won't be a big deal, and then I'll re-up it whenever I do have something I want to play on Game Pass. Once you bundle it with Xbox Live Gold, like they do with Ultimate, then it's like, now that becomes a huge hassle of like, okay, well now I'm not using Game Pass, but I can't get rid of it without like canceling my Gold subscription and then getting another Gold subscription. I already have all these months built up, so it just becomes this thing to where you're sort of locked in a lot.
Oh, I'm
tighter.
locked in. I have it.
Yeah.
I'm locked in, dude. They got me.
And it's worth the money because it's like you get PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass and now Cloud. So.
Yeah.
We were talking about these new consoles coming out later this year. You guys are already in.
Yeah.
It's not even.
It's like we don't have to buy Halo.
Right.
You just pay $15 or $10. There you go.
They did it and didn't do it at the same time.
That's the whole, like, making it hard, Bloodworth, to like quit is the whole. That's the whole play.
Business, baby. Yeah.
That's business.
Do you think we're going to hear about that at the game showcase?
They said it was going to be mostly games and no hardware and stuff. So,
but plays best and Project.
I think you'll see something
on Project
Optimized.
I can't see them not like just showing their console off a little or something. Especially because like I didn't think so. Like with Sony's whole thing, they were talking about like just games, pretty much feature games, this that games. Slipped it in, baby. Had that weird presentation when it was revealed.
They had 5 minutes of strange bubbles.
Yeah. Speaking of games, we'll get to this later on in the podcast, but Stadia had a Connect that we all tuned into, didn't we? I didn't tune in, but I'm assuming other people at ECI.
I read a summary of it on Game Informer.
I thought when you said Connect like an Xbox Connect or something for a second, I was like, what?
Not
Partnership.
yet.
Yeah.
We will get to that in a second. But first, a word from our sponsor. Here's the cold, hard truth, guys. Your skin has needs. If you want to look as good as possible for as long as possible, you need to address them now. We get it. You might not know where to start, but there's a company that's taken all the guesswork out of it for you, Lumen. Lumen is on a mission to give men the amazing skin they deserve through high-quality, expert-created products delivered right to your door. All of their products are formulated specifically for men's skin and made to target skin issues with maximum efficacy, using top-notch ingredients like charcoal, green tea extract, and vitamin C. Charcoal, baby. I got my charcoal right here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They just fulfilled the badass quotient, man. I got the package and I was like, oh, what do they got? It's made of charcoal? That's so good. I put shoe polish on my face every night. That's so cool. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good. You need good skin health, especially as you get older, to prevent long-term damage. Even if you have no idea where to begin, Lumen makes it so easy to find the right skin management system for you. Choose from different skin concerns to address, or just pick up a simple starter pack for free. And I'm so happy because I only shave once a week, the day we shoot this podcast, and it's always nice just being like, give me that baby when we get him. And it's like, I know I've got my fresh Lumen skin and my fresh shaved face. Get that baby's face all over my face. Because when you don't shave, you get the stubble. It actually kind of shows up on Milo's face. He gets like little dots when it's just like, I got too close to him, sorry. So, soft as my son's butt. You deserve to look and feel your best, and here's where you can start. Go to lumenskin.com/allies to get a 1-month free trial of everything you need to start your skincare journey at home. That's lumenskin.com/allies to get your first month free. lumenskin.com/allies. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. Before we talk about Stadia, I know, cool your jets, Brad.
Wow.
And to bring up Keighley again, Keighley dropped the final hours of Half-Life Alyx on us this last week. It's $9.99. It's not a video. It's not a blog. It's not something you can just go read. You got to buy it for $10 on Steam. It is an app that you can read stuff in, you can see stuff in. It has a development floor experience. You can just go around Valve. It has a headcrab sound mixer where you can listen to headcrab sound effects, make your own headcrab sound effects using the official files from Valve, and an interactive Valve timeline where you can see all the stuff that they were doing before and then very little of the things.
Interactive timeline?
An interactive Valve timeline.
Okay.
There's just like a 12, how long was the gap? There's just like a huge gap of nothing in the middle.
It's just Dota
Just
with
literally
money
Dota.
signs
Just a
next
bunch
to
of
it.
hats floating by and an endless void.
Well, the future looks bright, though, Ian, because according to this, a quote-unquote small team has been working on a quote-unquote top-secret project since early 2008. 2018. Remember 2018?
Excuse me?
Long time.
No word. They did divulge is that much. We don't know if it's VR or not. Although, I gotta imagine they're doing stuff in VR. They also said most of the team wants to make Half-Life 3 for traditional PCs and not make it in VR. But those poor devs. I can't, no one's making that call yet.
Just let us make it.
And obviously, it's exciting to hear that Valve is working on something, but was this kind of super obvious? Like, did Half-Life Alyx have the air? I know you guys haven't checked it out. Ben reviewed it. I have played a lot of it and very, very much love it.
I've played it.
And I definitely was like, this is fantastic. Why would they just stop and not do anything else in Half-Life? Or if this gets just, it reviewed so well, and if it maybe doesn't
really
move
good.
hardware, but sells pretty good considering
it's
people
so
can access it on
restrictive.
other things. But
Nobody can play that, Johns. You just want
right, but
nobody can play that game.
Is that going to deter Valve after putting all of this work into Alyx? Are they just like going to move on to something random? You think they're done with Half-Life?
not necessarily done with that
For the time being.
like of Alex type VR experience, but like getting Half-Life into more people's hands, because this is one of my all-time favorite franchises, and I have no way of playing Alex. I can't rejoin the Half-Life fight, so don't they want to get me on board and back into the Half-Life universe after this long? I
We've
think
got
so.
an index sitting at the studio, Huber.
Can't
Just
go there,
wash your
man.
hands.
Can't go there.
Just wash your hands.
I do think that sold pretty well and sold a lot of
I
VR
think
units.
most people that had that VR unit bought that game.
For
Oh,
sure.
I think
for sure.
everyone who had the
Yeah.
VR unit probably bought that.
I think that went like crazy in terms of VR sales.
I
but
don't
I could
think
be
or
wrong.
certainly hope that no one who's ever made a VR game was expecting a ton of people to buy it. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not the climate of where we are in the world. And when I see, companies like Ready at Dawn that's working on Lone Echo, it's like, this is, I've talked to them at Judges Week twice, going over like 2 different versions of that game. And it's like, these are people that are just super stoked on the tech. Like, I don't know. Obviously, you want your game to make a lot of money. You yourself want to make a lot of money, but it's just not kind of the culture around that.
thing-
You want to impress, you want people to be talking about it, but you're just not going to move a ton of units.
The thing with Alex that I was really impressed with, because when you hear, oh, it's a VR only Half-Life experience, whatever, you're like, okay, it's going to be short and it's going to be small. That game is big.
Yeah.
Like, the game starts and you look out over an entire city that's been modeled and looks really, really good. All the environments are really good. I mean, it's a lot of corridors and stuff. Just by the nature of VR, they don't want to give you maybe too much space, but like, it opens up sometimes, and like, that's a lot of work and a lot of work that they've already done. So I think, I don't know, that could easily translate into environments and tech and stuff that could do at least some of the work into getting into a Half-Life 3. So I don't know, I'm hopeful.
What about just making games, Huber? Think Valve's going to make more games?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Portal 3.
I never give up on Half-Life, man. It's only a matter of time. Every single game you want will happen one day.
Hubert, what have you
Every single game.
What have you given up on? Name one thing
Spooky
you
Quantum
gave
Fighter
up
2
on.
is not happening.
You-
I think.
Name one dream you have in gaming that you straight up are like, nah, it's over.
You almost have me with Batman right now. Like, I am on the
that
brink.
it's not going to be a fandom.
I'm on the
It's not
brink
gonna
of just
be
like...
at the DC exclusive event where they
Just
said
like-
there's going to be new DC property games.
And like, Jones doesn't even exist, man. Like, I
You
don't
will
know.
dissolve into dust if that happens. Like, you will literally, like, Huber's feed will go out and never come back.
You got me close,
Jones, to be
man.
fair, we are basically in the right cycle for Injustice to come back, so that
Oh,
could
I'm
be
way
what
down.
they're talking about. So.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Injustice and Lego Batman.
I'm losing
that's
hope
it.
on Silent Hill here.
Lego Batman 4.
No way.
funny.
Especially just because of Dead by Daylight. Silent Hill will return.
Phil,
Konami will sell their stuff to literally anyone to make money, but they don't make video games.
Right. I just want Team Fortress 3, man. Like, I know you guys want Half-Life 3, but like, bro, I want
Portal
TF3. Nah, man, we've got enough Portals recently in close
We don't have enough
succession.
Portals.
TF2 came out like 2007, dude.
So
yeah.
long ago. Holy crap.
How about this? Just another orange box.
Yes.
Half-Life 3,
Right.
TFT 3.
Nice.
There we go,
They're all
Ian.
three.
Now you're
Dude.
thinking big.
They're all threes. Make it like a chartreuse box.
The
or
3 box, yeah.
Taheev Kohli, a programmer at Valve, said going into a new big thing after Alex, which will be even bigger, is pretty exciting. And yet at the same time, they reported themselves that a small team has been working on a top secret project since 2018. So are those different projects?
could be
Small
episode
team,
Two different
Portal
things?
3.
I wonder if it's episode 3 then.
That's the thing. Yeah, I wonder if they'll do episode 3
Episode
or
3
just
is so
go
weird.
into Half-Life 3. I think if you come back, you just go to Half-Life 3.
I don't think they would have. I think they would get so much buzz still, even if they wanted to do Half-Life 3. Just something
Episode
smaller
3.
scale.
Yeah.
Because like maybe they don't want to dive in and spend all the money to make a huge game that would
That's
be
a great
Half-Life
point.
3. They want to start smaller, test the waters with episode 3.
Well, because that's
You
what I
do
thought
like a-
Alex was. Alex has already kind of opened
but Alex
the door.
was such like even like a limited scope of what they could maybe get sales wise.
Dude,
Episode 3 is like literally like episode 1 and 2. Just make it that'd be so easy for people to get and cheap.
Yeah, you
And
do like a
especially if
Lost
they have an
Legacy
idea.
size
Especially
thing.
if they've had the story planned out for a long time and they have a purpose for episode 3.
Brad, I had thought 100% that if it came back, it would be Half-Life 3. You've convinced me, dude. Episode 3.
It could be either. I think it'd be good faith to do episode 3, then lead into Half-Life 3, actually.
I think
Yeah, because then it's kind of like a prologue, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like, close the arc on Half-Life 2. Like, that's the end of Half-Life 2. Now we'll start 3.
Because wait, where does Alex fall? Is it after?
Isn't it a
Before
prequel
2.
Before 2.
Yeah.
Before,
Before
yeah,
2.
yeah. Before 2. After 1, before 2. I think that small team is doing Portal 3. The big project is Half-Life 3, starting with Lost Legacy-sized Episode 3.
I love this.
And
I
then
think
and then Half-Life 3.
I think at least one of those games is not a franchise game.
Probably
be
new IP.
Yeah.
Aren't they
Yeah.
redoing Artifact or something like that? They were talking
Oh,
about
heavens.
that.
I thought they
wonder.
pulled the plug on Artifact.
Yeah, I wonder.
I think
could
they
do
basically
Dota.
did.
They could
I
do
thought they
Dota
basically
3.
did. Yeah.
I love the passion. I love the dreams.
Dude, they're all at 3. Everything they have is
I know,
3.
dude. That's
Everything.
been the meme for like 12 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Brad's
3,
getting
damn
mad.
it!
They can't
They-
do threes.
Valve can't count to 3.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize Dota, though. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Jeremy Seelan noted that the Index is already 2 years old technology at this point. Greg Coomer
Whoa.
suggested Alex's ending might tease stuff from the new hardware. Haven't beaten Alex.
I don't want to know that, dude.
I haven't beaten Alex. I don't know what the hell that means.
beaten
But yeah, already saying that they might revise the Index. Kind of like, Valve making more games or them doing more stuff in the Half-Life universe is like, yeah, I didn't think the new model of the newest model of the Index was going to be the last thing that they were going to build, obviously following in the footsteps of Oculus and Vive and all that stuff before. But interesting news from, coming from Keighley, essentially, from diving in, deep and yeah, I think that's, Dwyer, if you're hearing, man, that's what you got to make games, dude. You got to sell your docs for $9.99 on Steam. we need more interactive
Devolver did it.
floor experiences. Yeah, it's the future.
I
baby.
mean, to be fair, I don't know how else Jeff would have made money off that thing.
no, of course, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
how you do. Yeah,
He doesn't have a Patreon or
what
anything
can we
like that.
what can we put on Steam? Can we do some kind of a, I don't know, maybe like a opinion yell game or something, maybe?
Hey,
on
there's a
Steam.
thought.
Yeah, write that one down.
I'm learning Unreal, so I could throw something together.
Dude, sick.
Stadia Connect happened. It was a thing. Keighley asked on Twitter. He was like, "Hey, you watched that Stadia Connect?" And like all the replies were like, "The what? What happened?" Stadia announced some stuff.
What?
Heck, we got time left in this podcast. Let's talk about Stadia. Stadia announced some stuff that's coming to Stadia. Stadia dropped some stuff. Stadia dropped Orcs Must Die 3 that I played last night. It's very fun. $30 or free via the Pro
Wait, Jones,
service.
you have Stadia?
We have Stadia.
Yeah, we have a group account.
We all have Stadia.
We are Groot.
We have Stadia?
You're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
We have a
remember I
company
covered the launch?
Stadia.
Yeah, Blood's been talking about it forever. You just have been ignoring it
Blood
because it's
loves
Stadia.
Stadia.
I thought I didn't know it was a unified account. I thought that was just a blood joint.
No.
You can log on to Stadia right now
Huber,
and
you
be
saw Stadia
underwhelmed.
and you
Huber,
blacked
we had
out.
a,
You
we had a
skimmed
Steam
over
account
it.
too. Do you know we have a
We have
Yeah,
a
we
Steam
have
with a
account.
lot of
Works,
stuff?
we have
It's that old Game
company
Trailers account, baby. There's a lot of old games. I bet Kane and Lynch 2's on there if you want to go back and play Kane and Lynch 2.
No,
It's like every
Never
time.
again.
no.
Never again.
No.
It's like how every time Bloodworth says, if nobody claims this code, it's going on the company account. That's what he's talking about.
Bloodworth, Huber can play Stadia for free, and it's still kind of just didn't really
Dude, Orcs
really-
Must Die 3.
didn't really float.
Pretty hyped on that.
Oh, here we go. Really? Because
Yeah, yeah.
I love Orcs Must Die.
Yeah.
Orcs Must Die is a I'm not going to review it. We're talking about it in Frame Trap this week. It is just textbook, really simple tower defense. Simple setup. Like it's so straightforward and like I think they're adding a couple new things, but it's just so straight. Orcs Must Die. Like it's just like I think it was like level 6 or 7 where I was like, oh, there's a new mechanic, and like was not complaining at all because I'm just like played the first level over a couple times. But we knew that was going to be on Stadia first. And but didn't know they were going to drop it that day, so it was nice of them. Get that again if you're on the Pro service, it's for free, $30 otherwise. They announced Outcasters from Gears Tactics developer Splash Damage.
Right.
Getting paid.
Outcaster.
Splash Damage. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid studio.
And they announced they're working with Harmonix, Uppercut, which made Epoch and Submerged, and Supermassive, which does Until Dawn and the new.
Okay. Working with some good studios there.
new
That's,
horror
that's
games.
a good sign, yeah.
Okay,
love-
things are looking up.
I love how all of our Stadia coverage is always just like kind of positively repeating the game
Yeah.
name and then the
Oh,
studio
yeah.
name, and then someone just goes, "Yeah, all right."
Things are going better than I thought. We got other
Stadia,
games coming to
alright.
Stadia. Super Bomberman R Online. First on Stadia, fall 2020.
It has
Hey,
like
Bomberman.
an insane
Bomberman.
amount of players too. I think
64 player
Yeah.
Bomberman, dude.
Yo, that's
Yeah.
actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight. You loved it. I played it the other day with you guys.
Dead by
Actually, no, I watched you
Daylight.
play. That was fun. I didn't play that.
It's just funny because like Dead by Daylight is again one of those games that just is there a platform? Put it on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get a team.
Crossplay
even on
on,
Switch,
all
isn't it?
platforms.
Pretty
Cross
sure, yeah.
progression with Nintendo Switch and PC. PUBG Season 8 comes to
Another
Stadia
one,
on
yeah.
July 30th, pretty soon. Huber, Hitman 1 and 2, both on
Nice.
September 1st.
Excellent. Excellent pickup.
And 3 is coming like
In January.
same time frame, yeah. That's like the best, probably the most relevant news there is that like, oh, Hitman 3 is going to come out on Stadia
Right.
around the same time as it comes out on other platforms.
It's a different
Alright.
quarter. That's Q1 2021. Blood, don't spread misinformation, man. It's a whole different bag. September 1st to January. That's just a whole different bag,
What?
man. It's months away.
Hitman 3 is September? I thought it
Hitman
was-
3 is January 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And Hitman 1 and 2 is September.
right. But when is
No,
Hitman
he's
3
saying
coming out?
3 comes out on Stadia
Yeah.
at the same time as it comes out on everything else.
Checking the doc.
Yeah.
Hitman 3
Yeah. It's just-
releases
yeah.
on everything.
Yeah, it's just months later. You know, he just said it's like it's the same
That's
as when
not what I
Hitman
meant,
1 and
though.
2.
That's,
Yeah.
He's talking about it coming out at the same time as
Oh, it's
Hitman
other
3
people. Oh, okay.
on,
Yeah, yeah.
on the
Oh,
other
got it.
consoles.
Okay.
Yo, I just want to play Hitman.
You're gonna
Right.
play it.
Good point, Hubert. Good
You're
point.
gonna play it.
Series Sam 4 we already talked
Stadia's
about.
tearing us apart.
NBA 2K21. I was doing a good job until now. NBA 2K21 coming out in fall 2020. Outriders coming to Stadia in 2021. One Hand Clapping, which you kind of know something about, Ian. We just got that, and you passed that
Bloodworth
along.
showed it to me, and I haven't looked at it at all yet.
Fantastic.
It's like teaching you how to sing. There's like singing platforming
Yeah,
mechanics and stuff.
who knows?
It's kind of hard to describe off of memory. It seems pretty unique.
Ian, you always want
Wait,
to learn to sing.
Jones, was there an Outriders and an Rider?
There's
Two different
Outcasters and Outriders.
Outcasters
Yeah.
and Outriders. Okay.
Yeah.
Outriders is the Square Enix game that Huber's played.
Yeah. That
Outcasters
everyone
is
is
the new
like
thing.
writing
That
off
everyone,
already.
yeah.
Everyone's pissed at that
Because the
game.
way it's
Weird
art
ga-
style.
super weird game to be pissed about. Seems like a waste of energy, but whatever. Like swimming in sevens, we're fine. No harm here.
Did you review it?
No, it's
No,
not
it's
out yet.
just what I
not
played
out
Oh, I
was
was gonna say it's not out
fine.
yet, right?
Yeah.
WWE 2K Battlegrounds on September 18th. PGA Tour 2K21 on August 21st. Hello Neighbor on September 20th. Playable in Stadia Pro at launch. Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which I'm assuming is DLC. Holiday 2020. And Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. The Easy Allies
Okay.
Game of the Year.
That's a winner.
2019 in fall
Come
2020.
in-
Is that a
come
winner
in
on
a
Stadia, though?
Cool,
Like
cool
a year and a
18
half.
months late.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, better late than never with Sekiro.
Dude.
Better late than
I'm
never.
thinking about
if
planes.
there's input lag, yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a nightmare.
No way.
Better late than never is a great transition, Huber.
Yeah, if there's even like a smidgen of input lag there, that's like brutal.
You know how Epic just fights, tooth and nail for those exclusives, man? They're just in a back alley kidnapping people and just, like, it's savage.
Handing them
They
money.
just will
Those
not
are
stop.
alleged claims.
Right. They're just, like free games. That's going to be, this is coming to Epic. This is coming to Epic. Should Stadia fight harder? Or based on this rundown from the last Connect, is it like, yeah, that's about as much, like, attention, you should be spending on
think-
this? Because are those big gains really going to move the needle for Stadia at this
Stadia
point?
is
Or,
already dead.
I'm gonna check on something real quick on the Stadia app
Jones, it's already dead, man.
because there's
Yeah.
I
there's
don't
a
know.
very good indicator that it's not about being dead, but there's just an indicator.
About keeping it on life support then?
They did not promote this event that much, so I just wonder if they're like
mean, it's-
kind of they're taking.
I think
their
they
foot off the
promote
gas
it about
just
as much as
a
they
little
promote
bit.
anything. Oh, there it is.
It's a Google property, so everyone just assumes they're just gonna ditch it eventually. It's
There's
like
that.
Quibi or
True.
whatever, where it's everyone's like C stuff shows up on Stadia.
I think Stadia's in better shape than Quibi, but that's just me.
Well,
I think-
yeah, everything's in better shape than
I
Quibi.
could go on a Quibi rant.
I read
tell
that
ya.
entire article about Quibi. It's fascinating.
I think Stadia should have done everything they could to lock down Cyberpunk playing on maximum settings on that thing. That could be a saving grace. Is
Yeah.
hey, if you don't have a $4,000 rig, come over to Stadia, play it. Maybe not as good as a 4K rig, but play it better than consoles. Cyberpunk with really good visuals. Like
That's a really
that is
good-
the kind of thing
yeah.
they need to be
I
doing,
think
and I just don't.
Sekiro and NBA 2K21 are the only things that maximum settings even comes into the conversation on this list. I mean, Hitman 3, of course, but Yeah. just
So
not-
yeah,
You're
so
totally
what they're known
right,
for.
Huber, yeah.
So this is the indication that I was telling you about. So basically, on the app, when you go to the store, there's still not a search function because you can just go to a page that has all the games on it,
Oh no.
including like multiple versions. Like there's like 3 versions of NBA 2K20 and stuff.
Oh no.
Like you can
that's
just scroll
Are they,
through
wait,
all
are
of
they
it.
are they in a row or are they NBA scattered the
No,
same?
no, it's in alphabetical order. But I'm just saying, it's like you just quickly scroll through the entire Stadia library, in a couple of seconds.
They're out of time. New consoles are coming. They had their time to try to get people on board, and it's over, man.
Yeah.
No one's hopping on Stadia.
No.
The death
Yeah,
knell
I don't
from
believe.
Brad Ellis.
It's dead.
Yeah.
And
There's-
also just like misguided from the go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, this
I
we
don't
know, of course.
Well, the fact is, like, the best they can do is like
See
Stadia
several previous
first, right?
episodes of these yellow
They don't have any exclusives yet, and like their
Yeah.
game studio probably will be another year before they have something to put out.
Yeah, it's just so weird to me because the promise when I first heard about it was like, hey, you don't have a good PC, like on live back in the day. It's like, hey, you don't have a good PC, like use our service and you can play it really, really well with good graphics and everything. And like that doesn't seem to be a message at all. It just to me seems like an Epic Games Store or a Steam that you pay for. Like it just
Right. My
Well,
hope,
you don't have to pay for Stadia itself anymore. Like you can get the Pro upgrade or whatever, but like
yeah,
you can
because
just
no
buy
one was
games.
buying
Yeah.
it. My hope is that for Google's sake, that Stadia from the jump was some kind of incubator for some other technology that they just wanted to practice or like
Maybe.
workshop through. Like, that's my hope for their sakes. That was
mean,
something we don't know about. Like maybe
got
they
the
are.
money.
Maybe they are going to make the Netflix of games, but just in 2023.
Microsoft's like already doing that.
They already are, yeah,
More
for
and
sure.
better than them.
And better.
But yeah, so here's a interesting little tidbit that I saw Dan Stapleton post the other day from IGN. So because he's been playing Orcs Must Die 3 as well.
Nice.
But he said playing in 4K means you're eating about 20 gigabytes an hour, and he's played for 20 hours. For a game that he thinks is probably, if you installed it, would be like 15 gigabytes.
Right.
So it's just like, if you have any kind of worry about bandwidth caps,
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
chewing through it.
You're done.
yeah, it's done.
That's nuts. Yeah, well, that's the real killer is that it's just like the infrastructure, at least in America, just isn't there for most people.
No.
Like
It's like it's too much right now.
like we could play it at our studio with our crazy ass fiber internet that
plug.
doesn't bandwidth cap us, but like not everyone has access to that. Like,
Totally.
I miss
Including
that
us, 'cause
internet,
we
dude.
don't have
I
access
know,
to
we
that.
can't even do I like think about that internet a lot. It's just there.
I miss that internet.
I miss
Damn
it.
it.
It's so fast.
I literally went to the studio to upload my F1 footage.
Attaboy.
And then I dropped the drive off at
Now that I'm back in the garage, I think about that air conditioning every now and then. I just train. Look at these hot
Oh my
lights.
God, it has air conditioning?
Right.
I'm not getting back.
Do you
No, the studio
remember?
does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In each room,
Sweat.
in each room. You go in the room, you close the door, and it's cool in the room. No
It's
windows.
amazing. Bloodworth's always turning the heat up.
Oh, I can't wait to get back to that.
It's insane.
I
can't even
love
imagine.
Temperature
the-
wars.
I've never met anyone that likes the cold more than my brother and I until Ian, actually. Ian is like the Arctic.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I love
Yeah,
the cool.
Ian runs real hot.
Wow.
I run
always
real
burning.
hot. I'm always my body temperature is lower than average, so I get warm really easily.
Also this week, PUBG has sold 70 million copies.
70?
PUBG, 70.
Woo.
Yay.
7-0?
7-0.
7-0.
70.
Million?
70 million, yeah. So,
70 million.
Get out
That's
there.
like more than Mario Kart.
well, don't quote anyone on that. What? No.
Don't know about that.
Now I have to
Maybe.
look it up.
Hubert, shh. Tom Holland
All
posted an
Mario Kart?
Instagram.
No, not all Mario Karts.
We could
Tom
go.
Holland posted an Instagram pic of a cast member chair that says Nate. So
He's Nathan Drake.
maybe
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
it's happening. Everyone's like, "Yeah, they're shooting." Apparently, they're not. He just got the chair, or I guess he was like at a meeting and saw it and got excited. We're not
He's-
sure. It's such a
he's a
close up.
pro at
Maybe
leaking.
he doesn't even know if he got the chair. Maybe he just got the back of the chair. He just literally has that fabric part. Who knows? Andy McNamara left Game Informer to be director of comm strategy at EA. Good for Andy McNamara.
Yeah.
Based on beta feedback, Amazon's New World has been delayed from August to spring 2021.
Yep.
Woof.
Speaking of big companies making games.
That is a
Yeah,
delay.
dude.
I want to
Yeah.
talk to people that played that game. Like, what? Not a lot of details about specifically what they're going to be changing, but you're going to have a lot of time to learn about it. Skull and Bones reportedly is getting an internal reboot, which makes sense. Not a surprise, because we haven't heard about that in a while. So, and I was stoked from what we played. You were there with me playing Hubert, maybe? Were you
Skull and
with me?
Bones, it was awesome.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
played that
you
a few
guys,
times.
you guys scoff at me, but I'm a frequent guest on Friend Code, hosted by Nintendo specialist Michael Damiani. Mario Kart 8 has sold only over 33 million copies, not even close to 70. Boom.
We stand
Whoa.
corrected.
Boom.
Wait, what?
Boom.
But it's
Oh.
always in the top 10 all
I
the
didn't know
time.
anyone.
Top
I didn't know anyone
10
cared
for,
about
like,
that.
Years?
Is Nintendo in China? I
No,
forgot.
I'm holding up my scoff. I'm
Also,
gonna keep
Huber,
that scoff
remember
in
that
place.
Nintendo doesn't always report all their numbers. It gets real squirrely.
No, that's
No,
not.
they do.
Nintendo's financial reports quarterly.
Yeah.
Oh, they do,
they're
yeah.
they're the most accurate of anything, yeah.
But
Super
not,
Nintendo.
not for the MPDs, though, right?
The MPDs is where it gets
Right.
less. Yeah, but the MPDs
Right.
haven't actually been reporting numbers. They've been reporting like ranks. So
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Lego's making a Nintendo Entertainment System that sells for $230.
oh, I didn't know the price.
$230.
Yep.
Have you seen this? Ian, have you seen this?
No, I saw
you
like
seen
a
it? It's really
headline and I
cool.
just wrote it
It
off.
looks
I don't
cool.
know
There's a
anything
thing you
about
build. There's a thing you build. It's like a little square, and then you put it inside a TV, and then you crank it, and the level of Super Mario Brothers
Yeah.
goes by. And they have a clear plastic thing that hooks onto a little 2D Mario, and he jumps with the thing as it goes by. So he like bops onto Goombas and stuff. And if you take the new Mario Lego thing, the other Lego thing that they announced, and you put that on top of the TV, he freaks out and talks about stuff that's happening.
Whoa.
And it plugs into an NES, comes with a game. You know, like I don't know if it lights up, but you can put the game in and close it. And
Wait,
close the
he
thing.
talks if you put him on top of
I
it?
thought it was just playing the Mario Brothers music.
Does he? I saw his eyes light up, and
What the hell is he gonna say?
I don't know.
Woohoo!
Something
Also,
like
Buy
is it
more
just,
Legos.
is
Oh,
it
I
just
think
like a-
what it does is I think it syncs up. So like when it does jumping, like it actually does the sound effect.
But
Great
it's just
sound
the
effect.
same level over and over that you just scroll through?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
it's just
not
like a
much,
circle.
yeah.
Blood,
It's
what
a
is
very
a Mario...
expensive thing
It's
that
very
you don't
yes.
play with.
it just looks cool.
Blood Ruth,
Like
what does
most
a,
Lego.
what does a
Yeah.
Mario jump sound like, Blood?
Boing.
There we go. Nailed it. We're also getting Mario versions of both Monopoly and Jenga. Boom.
Nice.
I could have sworn we had a Mario Monopoly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm
it's
sure we
gonna be
have.
Monopoly.
This is
well,
probably
getting-
just
we're
a
getting
new version.
we're getting Mario Jenga. I think we have Nintendo Monopoly. Maybe it's just specifically Mario.
Oh, okay.
A rare copy of Super Mario Brothers for the NES sold at auction for $114,000.
Wow.
Cyan's VR adventure Firmament delayed beyond 2021.
Yeah, bummed about that. But take as long as they need.
Yeah. A Dragon's Dogma anime is coming to Netflix.
Dragon's Dogma
Yeah.
2 confirmed.
Pretty much.
yeah.
Confirmed. It's coming.
Drag's dog, dude.
Although that
Pretty
doesn't
much.
mean much for Castlevania, but
Well,
True.
what's
It
his
Capcom
name?
cares
feels
about its
different.
games.
It feels different.
Allegation.
Yeah,
Allegations.
Capcom cares.
There are like allegations on what's his name too, so who knows?
Gotta be careful of what's his name. Sony is apparently
Warren Ellis?
raising PS5 production
Warren Ellis.
to 9 million units, up from 6 million. So apparently they're making
Boost it.
oh right,
9 mil of those
yeah.
PS5s. That's good news
Boost
to
it.
hear.
Hey, is
Microsoft.
there a... it was back to another thing you said. Is there a Jenga video game?
There's
For
Boom
Wii,
Blocks.
there's gotta be.
Blocks, yeah.
For
Maybe
Wii?
it's for some Wii shovelware game.
Yeah, there's got to be a VR Jenga too.
There are
wonder.
I would love
tabletop-
playing that with you guys.
There are tabletop RPGs that use Jenga as instead of dice rolls.
Lucky for you, here I have a co-moderator on this podcast, and he is just itching to Google stuff like that. So Microsoft's next flight simulator comes on 10 discs
Hilarious.
and still requires something to download before you can play it. Red Dead Online players are currently dressing as clowns to protest a lack of recent updates.
What do you make of this, Jones? Theory.
No,
Jones,
don't
you know
don't
it.
ask
Jones,
me. No,
theory.
no,
theory.
don't ask me what I think of this.
Theory. They're working on a next-gen version of Red Dead 2. That's
They're
why.
doing that. I don't know if obviously that it's going to come to PS5 and Series X, but I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
they're gonna do
stopping
that.
the online team.
I mean, I
Okay,
think
okay.
it's COVID.
It's all sorts of
slowing
stuff.
it down.
Also,
Like,
there's no monthly fee for this game. You know what I mean? Like you buy Red Dead and you got it forever. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
compared to a
they
lot
haven't
of
monetized.
compared to a lot of other
GTA.
games like failed MMO DLC and stuff like that. Yeah, like new maps or Call of Duty you got to pay for. Like I just it's different. I'm not saying these people should not dress up as clowns because I love it, but I wouldn't be as upset. And I know a lot of people that are playing online, and none of them are like have come to me with like super complaining that there's like not a lot of updates. Dr. Disrespect was interviewed by PC Gamer. Quote, "I will not be returning to Twitch," and he said he's considering legal action, but who knows. On July 17th, fans will be able to listen to a 7-song EP of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So that's like tomorrow. If you're listening to this podcast, you can go check out a bunch of tracks. Yeah.
I love their music.
And those you can,
Kid, Sarah Schachner.
Yep. And you can say a lot of things about those Assassin's Creed games, but they got some good music in there. Pro Evolution Soccer 2021 will just be DLC for 2020. It finally happened for a sports game. They're not going to release a new version. They're just
It is Konami,
get this
so I
thing.
guess.
It goes in. It changes it. I wonder if anyone's going to
That's
follow
really
suit.
funny.
Rogue Legacy 2 early access is delayed from to August 18th from July 23rd. Take your time. They had a really great message that was like, man, this is a bumpy road trying to figure this stuff out. I think they compared it to football. They're like, you get that ball, you just got to run with it. Destiny 2's Beyond Light expansion delayed until November. QuakeCon's going digital, just like everything else, but they announced it officially. That'll be August 7th through the 9th. Square Enix opened a website for Balan Company, BALAN. You go to that, it's a hat logo in front of a stage, and it says, "Welcome to the Show of Wonders. We thank you for your patience while we make preparations for the grand opening." I can't wait for that to be known.
That's a very Square Enix thing to do.
Yeah.
Any lightning crossovers with the real world from the spread, do you think?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's going to be Pachinko machines. No Man's Sky is getting a creepy derelict spacecraft update called Desolation.
Cool.
It looks it's out
It does
already,
look
I guess.
sweet.
It
Yeah.
looks sweet.
Yeah.
You gonna hop in, Ian?
I think I will. I think it's still on my PS4. I think. So I have to see.
It's funny, it keeps updating on my Xbox, and it updated today for that, and like I still have
Nice.
never actually pushed start on the game.
Oh my god.
Yo, that game, it's really good now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet it is. Yeah.
It's a cool game.
They've added a ton of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
crazy.
At a
game.
pretty regular pace. That's a hard game not to play. Because I know once I get back in, there's no pulling me out. You'll all show up for the podcast a week later, and I will not be here. Everyone is so excited for a new F-Zero game that maybe somebody trolled and created a Twitter account for F-Zero Japan, and like people went nuts. And like this literally happened like hours ago. I saw this pop up, and then it seems like a troll. Which,
Poor F-Zero fans.
Poor F-Zero. I mean, it's
Literally
one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. I played it.
Desperate for anything, dude. Just
It'll
like
come.
a sniff.
It'll come.
Will
One day.
will it break Mario Kart 8's monumental 35 million sold? Gotta look that up. Keely's going hands-on with the PS5 DualSense tomorrow. We already talked about that. And speaking of hands-on, Henry Cavill built a gaming PC today. And
I watched this.
Jolly.
You
Yeah, it's
me
cool.
the whole
too. Me
thing.
too.
you should
It
go.
was like 5 minutes.
Same.
You
It's
should go
cool,
check
man.
it out. And it's funny. I saw a lot of people posting this, and they're just like, he's making a PC and being all sexy. Just making a PC. Like he's just like he can't help
And
it.
he's
You know,
like-
it's like Cavill's just one of those guys. He's just looking at an instruction manual, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Hey,
Well, that's-
if,
that's the
if he
funny
needs to make
thing
more
is-
videos, I need a PC. So
All right,
Yeah.
you heard it.
Oh, yeah,
here.
we gotta do that. It's funny because he's like not good at it. he's all confused, and it takes him a day and a half. It's amazing.
He's human. Turns out he's human. It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Merco de Buell. Before the lockdown, you guys seem to be getting truckloads of candy on a weekly basis, getting hopped up on sugar on every Tuesday night group stream, and then you had to all quit it like cold turkey. So just 2 quick questions. What are your candy eating habits right now, and are people still sending you guys gifts? They might be. We're not picking them up. I ain't going to no post office. That's not happening. And we've communicated that as much as we could on our live stuff. But I currently like the unwrapped Starburst minis. Those are that's my jam. Anybody? Candy?
I will have an Andes creme de menthe after meals.
After
love that
meals?
sentence.
How
I
exquisite.
love that sentence.
My wife has been baking a lot. So we've gone from cake to brownies to cookies. Now we're on cupcakes. So
With
You're a
cake
big
shaped
sweets
like
guy,
any
though.
realistic
Yeah.
objects. Did she try to make
No.
him like into a Coke can or okay?
No, none of that. None of that.
Huber's
I showed one of the cookies on my Ratchet and Clank stream if you want to see. It's at the very end. It's massive.
That's a good plug.
Also, Huber's been free of this meme, Jones. We don't need to drag him into it.
Yeah, leave him
Yeah,
out of it.
I didn't know what was going on with
No
this.
one will explain it to us.
It piqued my interest when Deus
No one.
Ex got involved.
No one is free from memes in the Easy Allies podcast. Brad, what candy you eating?
None. I don't really eat candy that much.
That's a smart play.
I think the last candy I ate was a Butterfinger for that Final Fantasy VII theme. I think. That's the last one I can recall.
It's not candy, but I got a pint of vanilla ice cream with my name on it in the fridge right after this podcast. I'm just gonna.
Nice.
I will have
in
a.
the summer.
I do have some ice cream each week on a Saturday.
Are you sipping like
vegan
a
ice.
scotch or something? Or
That's
what?
that looks like
It's water.
Yeah,
It was
it
cutting
looked
off
like
the top of the
scotch.
glass. It was cutting off
Jones,
the top.
I'll get
Yeah.
the scotch out.
I do
want
have
me
a
to?
Glenfiddich
Oh,
on my
well.
top of my fridge.
Maybe somebody in Love and Respect can ask about scotch next week. But first, oh no, I'm sorry,
yeah.
Blood. Kenda, Blood goes. You go into that pile. Blood's you're one that like when we would
Blood
leave the
likes the
studio,
candy.
He
I would
goes
like
in.
go to the fridge to grab a Soylent or something, and like you'd be like, And you're also a big chocolate fan, I recall.
Yeah.
Whenever that chocolate comes in.
Yeah, but at home, like, I haven't done anything that I would call regular necessarily. I guess the closest thing, we'd have like one of those like family-sized like big bags of Skittles or whatever. And
Those
for a
things
while,
are
I would
life
just like
destroyers.
That's a good evening as
I
far
would
as
get
I'm
like
concerned.
I would get like a handful of those every once in a while, but I haven't actually been into the bag for a couple weeks.
Get a handful of those every 20 seconds.
And then the other thing recently, I haven't had these forever, but I got a box of ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, so
And
good.
kind?
I
Whoa,
didn't
what
realize just a standard chocolate sandwich with vanilla
Klondike,
ice
or-
cream. No, just an ice cream sandwich, not
What
the
brand?
Oh, okay.
Like the graham cracker kind of
Carnation.
looking thing?
Carnation.
It's just a store brand.
Standard,
but-
yeah.
Okay.
You look like you're
but-
lecturing him, pointing at him about it.
Carnation. Damn it.
What? Oh no, sorry, holding whatever.
I love ice cream sandwiches.
But anyway, so it's funny.
This
I
is
accidentally
unhinged.
got. I actually got. I didn't realize till I got home, but they were like mini sized. I was like, at first I was disappointed. It's like, oh, but like now I'm like, oh, well, this is actually perfect. Like this is just enough, and I have one or two of these a day, and then it lasts longer because more of them fit in a box.
Nice. But two's the max? More than two's just pushing it?
In a day, most likely. Although today's pretty hot.
It's like me and beers. That third beer is like a decision. You know, it's like two's
Oh.
okay, but that third.
Yeah, I don't get to a third beer.
Third is a choice, Jones.
Third is
Yeah,
a
what kind of
choice.
night is
Yeah.
this gonna be?
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's play a game. Garrett Zamora. Hello, allies. As I've been going through old Easy A podcasts after returning to work, I came across episode 171. You remember 171, am I right? 171 was a wild time, where the panel reviewed some of the predictions that they made the previous year in July 2018. To my amusement, some of them were pretty close, but a lot of them were way off. Following this, it came to the job of the panel of Blood, Damiani, Brad, and Kyle, I was not there for some reason, to follow suit and make more predictions of what July 2020 would look like. Garrett, thank you so much for digging this up.
Yeah.
Jones,
Below.
you know why you weren't there.
Oh, duh. The hell was I doing in July of last year? What the hell was so important
I wonder.
July last year? And had he come home from the hospital
Is
yet?
it his kid?
Is it? Did he
Is
mention
it
his
the
kid
child?
again? Below, I've outlined some general statements or questions posed by an ally, and some straight-up hard predictions, and I thought it'd be fun to both reflect on how accurate or not a statement was, and bonus points to guess which ally said it. Thanks
Man, if
for
we
you
called
all.
this year,
Thanks for all you do, allies. Love and respect
Yeah.
from Canada. GBZMR. Here we
Well,
go.
you did.
So you
I
got
did.
it. So there's the quote, but there's also who said it. We could see Horizon 2 being a launch game. I think they've been working on that for a while.
Me. Is that me?
100% that's Brad.
Yeah.
Boom. Brad, I'm right with you, man. I could have sworn that was launch game. I totally would have put my money on launch game.
Same.
Not that,
Same.
I don't know jack about game development of that size, but
It's got to be like the launch showpiece,
Yeah.
you know? That's a great
launch
prediction.
showpiece, yeah.
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 I'm
But who did you say was on that panel? Just
that is.
Me.
Oh, okay, yeah. That is. I got Brad here. I got Kyle here. I got Damiani and Blood.
Brad. Oh no,
I
Ian even.
I assume I
No,
was
Ian.
there.
Maybe you just didn't have a prediction?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't chime in. And remember, Kyle is Bossman, right? Remember, he was the
Yeah.
I remember.
We don't have a boss. What are you talking about?
RE the console. Ain't that the truth? RE console wars. June 2020 will have some boasting going on.
Boasting?
June 2020 will have some
That
boasting
sounds
going
like
on.
Kyle.
That's a Kyle.
Boss man.
Yeah.
That's Kyle. I put a little too much
Easy.
emphasis on it. I kind of feel like there will be less drama. I think it'll be a drama-free console launch, which is maybe too crazy to say.
Bloodworth.
That's also Kyle.
Oh.
By E3 next year, they will give the release date for Breath of the Wild sequel and the name. We'll know so much of it by then.
Such a Damiani move, obviously.
So
I
much.
was there. I was there.
We are sinking deep into updates on Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, where are these Ian predictions? What the heck?
Not on the
I was
list.
there. I was wearing my Monster Hunter T-shirt
Didn't make an
from
impression.
Uniqlo.
Didn't weigh in. No predictions.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get Odyssey 2 or the next 3D Mario game. We might get to see what Metroid Prime 3 looks like. Hopefully, by then,
3?
Bayonetta in action, playable at E3.
It's dummy.
Or Metroid Prime 4, sorry, I guess.
I'm
4, yeah.
saying Bloodworth because Metroid.
Damiani was
Damiani.
very hot on there
Damiani.
being a Mario Odyssey 2
Yeah.
and
That's true,
I
yeah.
know.
and Breath of the
I'm
Wild
s-
2 by like now.
Well, they
I
haven't
know.
really done.
Convinced.
They haven't really had a direct in a while. You know, I don't
Not
know.
for like this holiday. Besides Bakugan,
We're still
right?
waiting.
Is Pokemon Snap? I think.
Yeah.
Is this year
Yeah,
maybe?
they've done the Pokemon ones, but Pokemon's so weird because it's like they operate kind of separate from Nintendo
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
Speaking of Pokemon, I think we'll have a Pokemon 3rd version coming along. Pokemon Staff.
Bossman.
Kyle.
Blood.
Blood?
Didn't remember he said that.
Really?
Oh, being
Staff? That must have been a
Short-sealed
joke or
and
something.
yeah,
I don't know.
blood joking.
It's hard to tell sometimes, Bloodworth.
They need to just go crazy and do another Mario Kart if they're really desperate. It's time.
Brad.
Me? Yeah.
Brad.
Kyle.
That's you. No, that's
Yeah.
right.
Brad
At-
does the it's time.
Yeah, I've been mad because they've just been riding Mario Kart 8 for like 10 years again.
At this point next year, we'll have played Death Stranding. Maybe it's old news at this point. We've played Cyberpunk 2077. We've played Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've played all those games. I don't think we've played Ghost of Tsushima yet.
Bossman.
Kyle.
That's Kyle.
Almost right.
I love that quote. We played all those games. And RE, the Epic Game Store, I have to believe that Epic is going to stop with the exclusive thing at some point.
Damiani?
Bossman.
Again, Blood, you're making these crazy accusations, and none of this is coming true. You don't even remember it. The more outlandish it is, the less Blood remembers it. That's it. Thank you, Garrett Zamora, for tracking all that stuff down.
It's fun.
Really quickly, Daryl Rodriguez. Recently, I have seen both Digital Foundry and MinMax create videos where they watch old E3 press conferences and comment on them. Both good and bad, but the bad ones are usually the funniest. For example, the Xbox One reveal conference or the PS3 Giant Enemy Crab 599 conference, etc. Would love to see you guys do something similar. I remember we shot this idea down for some reason. We were like, that can't be that entertaining. Didn't we say we're like, we're going to run into... That's just going to get dull at
This
some
is
point.
funny because this is more of like a Q&A or Cup of Jones kind of question.
That seems like something Kyle would just shoot down out of hand, and everyone would just be like, okay.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like to me, maybe it feels like something we've sort of already gone back to well on a few times during different E3s. So maybe that's why. I could see with next gen hype
Yeah.
doing it, but it's interesting to me the timing of it because it's like there's so many things to react to right now. Like I don't have a desire to add another one to the
Right.
Yeah.
to the queue.
Right, but if the pandemic keeps getting worse, Blood, and literally like the world ends and nobody's making games anymore, it's nice to know that we have more back content we can go to.
We can go back
you
to the
know.
well.
Not only is our
Yeah.
backlog of games we haven't played, but even press conferences. You know, you can go back and.
I know we've gone back to the Konami one before for sure.
We have?
That is true. Because
Oh, yeah, we did that one time.
Everyone should. Anyone listening to this should go back and watch the Konami press conference from 2008.
50?
What was that?
Yeah,
10?
8 or something,
10 or
9.
something.
It was 8 or 9, probably 8.
It's time for bets.
Devolver before Devolver. Vibes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Rails.
Unintentional Devolver, but Devolver wishes they could do something that unusual. It's time for bets, everybody. Next week's bet, Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break launches on July 21st. I'm going to look at the last 10 reviews in English on OpenCritic. How many times will I see the word roll? And if anyone's not familiar with Rock of Ages 3, you play a big boulder in this franchise, and that's pretty much all you do. We will be accepting all forms of rolled, rolling, roll, roller, rolled,
Rolls.
Rollenstein. Ian, how many times?
22.
Okay. Huber, how many times?
35 rolls.
35. Okay. Brad, what do you think?
20. Oh, you can't
20.
say.
Oh,
20.
okay. I was curious if we were going to get into triple digits. I'm going 25. For viewers at home, I wrote it backwards so you can see it straight. Bloodworth.
36.
Damn it!
Yay! You could have somebody. That's a make or break based
Did
on
you
what a
just
couple
write that
reviews.
right now?
No, it's been there the whole time.
All right.
Says the guy who on more than one occasion has thought up the bet in the moment, locking those in. Last week's bet. Story of Season's Friend of Mineral Town launches tomorrow, which was last week. How many cows will be on the back of the box? Screenshots or hand-drawn. So these are real cows actually in the game, or cows just drawn to make the back of the box look prettier. For reference, there was one cow on the front, thanks to lovely people that followed me, who I think at one point today I was like, I should write their names down, and I did not. I bet 3 cows. Daniel Bloodworth bet 2 cows. Ian Hink also bet 2 cows. Damiani said there'd be no cows. Michael Huber trusted in 1 cow. There are 3. I win. Yay!
I saw this
Slow rolled me,
verified,
Jones.
so-
Although
Slow
no,
rolled.
you got it. It's these gem quotes from Daniel Bloodworth via Slack. I see 3 cows. I'm gonna go catch a comet. Like what a superhero! His team wins a bet and he catches a comet later.
I actually didn't know you won. I had no idea who.
I didn't know either. I was hoping.
Counted what?
I was like, someone voted 3. I know somebody voted 3. It was me, which brings our scores to Jovial Penguin 6.
I believe the word you're looking for is.
Are you trying to be quiet for somebody, Ian, or is that you just trying to save your voice, or what?
I just didn't want to yell. You know?
All right. Astonished Scorpions 5. You can yell, Ian. You don't have to, but if you want to.
The entire
I can yell
complex
for
could
you if
hear
you
me
want.
if I yell.
Yeah, see, I'm just in the garage, so if you want me to fill in. I almost did. You get me, I really... Damn it, I want to watch Batman Returns now. Just go black
Could you
and white.
repeat the score? It's 5-2.
Your head, 6-5, okay?
6-5.
There, you're winning.
It wasn't
all
BM.
right? You
I really wanted to know. It was not BM. I wanted to just know.
Okay, yeah.
6 to 5,
Excellent.
though, Jones?
I got news for you, Huber. You're not going to be on the podcast for 2 weeks, man. What do you want to do? How's that going to change your strategy, okay? You can come back and we're in the lead, and then what? Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. All of us get along really, really, really well. We enjoy each other's company so much so we wanted to get together and start making content. And the way we were able to do that is because of patreon.com/easyallies. Thank you, obviously, to people that sub to us on Twitch and people that watch our videos on YouTube. Thank you so much. Or you might be listening to this on SoundCloud. But you might be checking us out via Patreon. And if you do, you can get access to all sorts of stuff if you choose to invest in Easy Allies. For just $1, you get a bunch of exclusive shows. You get Cup of Jones, which I do every morning. You get a bunch of spoiler modes for free. The next one is Ghost of Tsushima, likely, right?
Yeah, we should be. We have to organize it, but yeah.
Yeah. Brad has the unfortunate task of like a week and a half from now when we're all done with it being like, right, I gotta think back to that game, just like Huber with Last of Us, like, right.
I've
But
written some notes down.
nice,
already.
Nice.
good, those honest thoughts. But if you, for $5, you get the podcast early and you get to be a part of a bunch of fun things. I can, obviously take all of your comments before I record every podcast, so sometimes those comments make it into the podcast themselves, but you can be a part of Love and Respect, the Q&A section that we just did, and Gaming Gladiators at the top, and a new segment that I will be introducing sometime soon because Gaming Gladiators is wrapping up. You can be a part of that as well. And you can support the Easy Allies, which is just a wonderful thing to do. But obviously, we appreciate it so much, obviously, in these troubling times as well. We obviously appreciate people that are at the shout-out tiers, the highest tier, patreon.com/Easy Allies, which is why at the end of the Easy Allies podcast, we give these very important patrons a shout-out. The order actually changes up a little bit this week. Huber, you bailed for a little bit, and then Blood snuck into the 4th spot. So you're going last, Huber.
Oh, okay.
You okay? You got it?
Yo, I got this.
Ian, you're going first. I'm going after
The
you. Brad,
ringer.
you're going after me. Blood, you're going after Brad. And then Huber, you're the caboose. You're going at the end. Shout out to Blue, Caleb Togi Crawford, L. Thanos, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, and a patron wanted their pledge to go to Black Lives Matter.
Shout
Shout
out.
out.
Shout out.
All right.
Got some slots open for that, too.
Yeah. Open up
Yes.
new
Oh,
slots.
yes. Excellent point. Thank you very much.
If you get in by the end of the month, then you'll have all of August shoutouts.
Right. Really like a co-moderator kind of thing to clue me into that, Ian. I don't know why. Blood was kind of silent on that one. But I don't want to get into that. You know why? Because I won, and I get to close out this podcast. I get to promote any Easy Allies video I'd like to promote. I get the final word on anything I disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into my head. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign-off. Damn, there was something we were talking about, some movie reference or something. Just go.
The Abyss versus True Lies, 4K.
Sure. Get The Abyss. Go see The Abyss for sure. Go watch that movie. True Lies is great. It's a little racially insensitive. I'm just saying, it just doesn't age well in that regard. But The Abyss, man, The Abyss is a masterpiece. That is easily what I'm saying. I think it is our duty. I'm not going to provoke anybody. No pressure, but we got to promote that Hunting Huber every single week because wonderful work from Ian Hink and from Don Casanova, co-op cutting all of that stuff. But just a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and. It's interesting seeing because we recorded all these pretty quickly, but it's interesting seeing like mentally week to week, just each ally just trying to kill Huber. Just try like just this idea of like even the nice ones, the savage ones. Obviously we care about Huber a lot, but boy, you watch these, and we're getting kind of close to the end, right? People haven't seen my episode yet, so I wonder.
Yours is the last one.
Oh, can we say? I'm the finale.
Season finale. Brandon Jones.
The longest
Wednesday
episode by far. Way longer.
Patrons.
TRT. What TRT?
Yeah. Did you watch that episode, Brandon? Have you seen it?
I did.
There's some funny things.
Oh yeah.
That episode
yeah.
goes crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's the weirdest, craziest one for sure.
Very
probably.
savage. Thank you to the production team and obviously to Huber for putting all of that together. And thank you, gentlemen, for hanging out and recording a podcast. Cheers. Kind of like PC gaming shows, something that I think could really...
No.